I've lived in East Antrim for most of my life. I grew up in Whitehead, which is about 6 miles down the road, and know and love this area. It's so beautiful and can be so peaceful. I've always loved nature, been very aware of it from a very young age. My father encouraged me to know the names of wildflowers and birds. Over the years, I became aware of how lovely my environment was. In 1994, Larne Lough and the places I love came under threat from the proposal to make Macromorne Quarry a landfill site. Macromorne Quarry was created by the cement works, Blue Circle Cement Works, in the early 1900s. When I was a young child, and I used to come down in the car with my dad, every time we drove past Macromorne, he would say, "There's that blasted chimney pouring out the dust," which would, if the wind was blowing in the right direction, blow to Whitehead, cover the car and the washing in cement dust, and he didn't like that much. There's a tradition in Northern Ireland of filling holes in the ground with rubbish, and this was the biggest hole in Ireland, so it was going to hold a lot of rubbish. The councils in Northern Ireland were looking for somewhere to dump their waste, and at the time there wasn't a waste strategy for Northern Ireland. So Blue Circle first entered the planning application, and then Hall Waste came on board, a big English waste company. It's such a beautiful part of the world. How could we allow them to do this? And whatever they put into the big hole, even though they were going to line it, it would always leak, and this leachate, the poisonous substances, were going to leak into Larne Lough. It was obvious that this had to be stopped. There was a meeting called about what was going to be done about this, so I went along to the meeting, and that was the start. I was just a mum with 2 young children, but we knew we were doing the right things. We formed a committee, and there were about 9 of us. First of all, we had to get hold of the environmental statement, which was a book that deep, and read through that on topics that we knew nothing about, but we soon learnt. We were guided by Friends of the Earth and a legal firm, Cleaver, Fulton and Rankin. Larne Borough Council gave us £36,000, and that helped greatly, and we ran all sorts of fundraising things. We raised £78,000. I can't believe that we raised that amount of money in those days. Larne Lough has got 3 international designations: a Birds Directive, a Habitat Directive and a Ramsar site. So, and it's a special protection area. This place is important not just to us locals, but is important internationally. And we didn't feel that the DOE were really protecting it. They weren't going to stop the leachate from leaking into it. 0.9 of a cubic metre would be leaching into Larne Lough. Well, we didn't know what 0.9 of a cubic metre looked like, and I said to one of the committee, what size is that? He says, "Oh well, that's so many oil drums, about 18 oil drums." Toxic leachate signs made up, and pasted these in the barrels, and we made a wall out of them in front of the leisure centre for the first day of the public inquiry. The day of the result, on the 12 o'clock news, it was announced that the dump had been stopped because of the roseate terns on Blue Circle Island. So it was a joyous day, much popping of champagne corks after 2 years of hard work. HBO saw the quarry, thought it was a great site, and have built Castle Black there, and there are now thousands of tourists coming to East Antrim to see one of the sites where Game of Thrones is filmed. Now, if somewhere that you love is being threatened by a big company, and you feel that you're only a small person, and what do you know, but go for it. If you think it's right to fight, do it.